his half sister ran in the opener. He's taken it all really well. He's just had that one start at Ascot behind Xanthi. Xanthi, I'm pretty sure, is going to head to the Queen Mary. So that form could end up being particularly strong. Was a 20-1 shot on that occasion, not given an overly hard time by the rider, and could quite easily leave that form well behind, and also takes a significant step up the ladder. One back is Lazy Lunch for the Sean Woods team. Little colt by Without Parole. Again, very much like Pivotal Days, he was a bit green and babyish on his racecourse debut. That was just 10 days ago, and he seems to have got taken a significant step forward from a mental point of view. I'm just watching my back and my excellent cameraman Finley's back, because Van Aert is being a bit of a handful prior to his debut. Attack, who we can see, is horse number 1. That is John and Thady Gosden's runner, caught by Wootton Bassett, and brings in a beautiful pedigree. And the dam, a pre-Marcel Boussac and Balanchine winner, and got a wonderful page. Jockeys are getting up, one or two of them being real quick to get up and on board. And I will try and keep an eye on that horse in shot at the moment when the jocks get thrown up, because he's been a bit of a naughty boy. Holly Doyle knows him particularly well. And so we will keep a close eye. I can tell you Sylvester is getting legged up. Dr. THG is being a bit babyish with William Buick on board. There are a few of them, but suppose the wind has got up here now. Going to wander off down. Right, let's go and annoy James Owen. Just rudely jump in whilst he's talking to Richard. James, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Yeah.
Great form. They're flying, aren't they?
Running well, continuing to run well.
Go on, tell us. Look, because I was reading about Cabin Club. That was a really good performance.
It was a good performance. Everything sort of went wrong against him, and he's an out-and-out galloper, and luckily he got out and mowed the horse down in front. So that was nice. Nice for a new syndicate. New owners in the yard. Nice to have a winner first time for them.
Absolutely. And then it was Mermaid's Cave, I think it was.
Yeah, she's been great to us. We claimed her out of a claimer. She's won disappointed first start, but she's won her last 3, and she's in again next week. So
nice little hot race for novice. You come to Yarmouth, they've got a lot of the big guns firing in here, and you've got one who's got a bit of experience.
Yeah, a bit of experience. He's improved. I know the form probably doesn't really, but he actually has improved each of his runs. Quite green at Newmarket, plugged on up, stayed on up the hill, and again at Chester, a wide draw, sort of always on the bridle, but catch up with her as well. Would be great.
Okay, let's hope it continues the hot run for the team. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
James Owen talking about Bretton Wood, Frankel colt, who's had a couple of spins, Newmarket, and then this one Attack is a debutant, of course, with John and Thady Gosden. 13-8 Elburn, 5-2 Attack. Bretton Wood then, solid alternative, 6-1, 7-1 Van Aert for Archie Watson, another debutant, 12-1 and bigger bar those. So we're gathering down towards the start. El Burhan in the Shadwell stud colours, those blue colours with the wide epaulets and the striped cap, and John and Thady Gosden saddle. Attack, Wootton Bassett colt, debutant for Qatar Racing. So some big guns going head to head. Tell us about the big two in the market. Both juveniles, of course. Attack is a newcomer, which is not really a negative statistically for John and Thady Gosden. High strike rate. Look at the price tags though. Yikes. 460,000 euros for Attack, 210,000 for El Burhan. Big owners, big jockeys, big operations. This is the John and Thady Gosden newcomer stat at Yarmouth, so they're not averse to striking first time out at Yarmouth with fancied 2-year-olds, that's for sure. 8 wins from 23 first time debutants at Yarmouth in recent years. Strike rate, isn't it? For
It's rock solid, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't put you off if you like the look of Attack. Can they win on debut? Well, yes, they absolutely can.
El Burhan, Sean, only ran 8 days ago. That was obviously at Newmarket there on good to firm ground. Now he's got different ground conditions altogether, and he never really rocked up. He handled the dips sort of okayish, but he was quite green throughout and never went through his gear. So he very much needed that first run for experience, and I'm intrigued to see how much he has learned from Newmarket.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a time, probably about a week ago, when I was just thinking, is the George Bowie team going quite as well as you'd expect? I always think of them as a high strike rate team, but actually in the last week or so they've had quite a few winners, and so
Yeah.
it's ticking on. I don't think they were running badly anyway, to be fair, maybe just hitting the crossbar.
No, you're right.
Quite a few winners now.
Yeah, it probably was a little bit quieter earlier on, but they're starting to roll nicely now, getting winners left, right and centre, and starting to run them 2-year-olds now more as well. A horse like that, you know, you can back them up very quickly, I think.
Yeah, you almost want to, perhaps, do you, so that you get the benefit of that learning experience and strike before they've had a tough race. So that's a positive potential for El Burhan. It was a tight 6-4 shot. Once again, we're going to have a bit of a clash here. We missed our previous races. We will miss our race 11 as well. If you want to keep up to date with the Greyhound action, don't forget the red button on your remote. Nice set of family connections this fall.
3 seconds. So overall, he just recorded over 25 seconds for his whole breeze, and he wasn't far off that top speed or that top figure. So connections had to fork out for him, and very interesting to see how he get on here today.
Okay. Final word. Who are we going for?
Oh, I'm sitting on the fence here. What about you?
Ditto. Ditto. Jason's had a close look at them though, and you'll pull the trigger. What do you like, Sharp?
Absolutely. Come on, Freddie. Not having that. No, you've got to go with Van Aert, haven't you? The way he behaved. Once Holly got up on board, he suddenly realised, oh, this is what I'm here for. Stop being around about playtime. And he was a lovely individual. Just had a real good, fluent walk about him and an honest outlook as well. Last one to load. Let's go back and rejoin Stephen.
Pivotal Days being brought forward to be the last of the 9 runners. 2-year-olds locked, loaded, ready and running. Off they go over 7 furlongs then for the British Stallion Studs EBF Novice Stakes, and they broke in a fairly decent line as well, with the most experienced runner Bretton Wood taken straight to the lead by Sylvester de Souza, and takes them along through the opening furlong and a half. From Lazy Lunch away towards the right in predominantly red colours next to Albahan the favourite. Van Aert away to the left in the light blue, racing enthusiastically under Holly Dahl, is taking a handy position as well. Back in 5th place we've got Pivotal Days from Dr. THG, who's just being ridden along by William Buick, racing alongside Mr. Ubiquitous. And then at the back of the field we have Attack in the maroon alongside the black and white of Big Cyril, and maybe half a dozen lengths or maybe a slightly more of Bretton Wood, who leads them down towards the 3 through halfway, and with the advantage it is Bretton Wood, and he's striding out for de Souza, being pursued by Van Aert towards the stand side. Lazy Lunch also being asked for more. Blue and white colours of Albahan is now being shaken up by Crowley, followed by Dr. THG right over on the far side. Also Big Cyril is trying to pick up as well. It's Albahan trying to get to Bretton Wood. From the back, Attack is also running on between horses. Dr. THG is weakening. Albahan from Attack. Albahan and Attack, who's closing all the way to the line. Albahan trying to fend off Attack, and he's holding on and edging away again near the line. Albahan has won. From Attack in 2nd, Big Cyril, nice run on debut in 3rd, and the front trio were clear of Pivotal Days, Bretton Wood, Dr. THG, and then came Lazy Lunch, Van Aert, and last of all was Mr. Ubiquitous.
Well, he was your 6-4 favourite, and he hasn't disappointed on his quick turnaround from Newmarket. The George Bowie team, they are part of the Shadwell squad now, aren't they? And George's career just goes from strength to strength. He was always fairly handily positioned. The one I'm going to take from the race, Attack, what a huge run from him on racecourse debut. He came through with that challenge, and then the lack of a run has just caught him out, and a massive effort from Big Cyril, and a huge prize for Kieran O'Neill and Alice Haynes, that combo always to be respected, and Jim gives in the hurry up towards the final 50, and he responds, doesn't he? I like the way that he really has knuckled down in the closing stages, and from what has been a fairly quiet start, dare I say it, for the Bowie team, just because he's been used to winning all those big Group 1s, the team are starting to roll.
Yeah, they are indeed. We were just noting that same fact before this race. They really started to ping in the winners now. El Burhan, exactly what you said, Freddie, not too...
Finished this race all properly. So good performance from a horse that you can clearly see has learned an awful lot from his debut.
Yeah, and we saw in our first race, it felt like quite a long mile, our first race. This was 7 furlongs, but there was no hanging about here. Bretton Wood has made this a proper test.
Yeah, you know, if you think about where the second sits, watch the Qatar colours out the back, sort of jumped but was a little slowish into stride. Bretton Wood knows his job, and Chester, 6 furlongs at Chester, has fairly woken him up, so he knew what it was all about, and I suppose he was slightly overdoing it for my liking, and therefore didn't finish as strong the race. The eventual winner here travels beautifully under Jim Crowley. He just has a little bit of cover, which I think is quite key here today. There must be there's got to be headwind there here today.
Well, everyone seems desperate to get cover, don't they? You see the way they're lining up. At this stage, I thought Sheen Murphy was in some trouble on this Scotstoun Nuclear.
So did I, because he's off the bridle already, but because obviously they went an honest gallop throughout, it just sorted them out. Again, on that ground, it just sorted them out when they came up to that last furlong in a bit. And you can see all of the field is pretty much off the bridle here. The winner is just getting asked for maximum effort, and look at him, he goes through the gears quite easily.
Yep, does indeed. Big Cyril switches at this point under Kieran O'Neill to make his challenge, and all of a sudden, Sheen Murphy finds himself with a horse underneath him as Attack comes to make his attack late on. Can't get to El Burhan though, who's a very solid 6-4 favourite, wins well. Attack, good debut at 3s, and Big Cyril 22-1 in 3rd. Let's hear more with Jason back on track.
Yes, thank you, Sean. Just having a little look. A fairly quick turnaround, isn't it? You know, just 8 days, and he's bounced out of that. He's having a nice blow. There is no sort of edginess about him afterwards when he's come in, and I think that he could be a nice type going forward. Jim is going to have a quick word with us. He's done that well, hasn't he?
He has. He ran a lovely race at Newmarket first time over 6, and he was sort of green mid-race, and Penny dropped. But like I said, he's still learning even there. You know, it's the first time he's been in front in a race, and he had to dig when the other horse came to him, and he galloped out well.
Yeah, and I